So here I am back at Edinburgh Castle. We'll see how long this lasts. Just as a sort of aside to the other day's bullying. Anyway, so I just wanted to speak about Count Dank. Or sorry, I wanted to speak about the article in the Guardian by Peter Walker. And Peter Walker was a journalist. There is a journalist for the Guardian, which is one of the major periodicals in the UK. And basically, he has indicated that Marcus Meacham, Count Dankula, Sargon of Akkad, and also uh, Paul Joseph Watson are alt-right. Now, I'd never actually heard this expression before, alt-right, and basically I thought the alt-right was a move on a keyboard on a computer. Thought that's what alt-right actually meant. However, uh, apparently it was coined, or the first time I had certainly heard it coined was by Hillary Clinton when she was doing her unsuccessful uh, presidential bid. So that was the first time I never heard of it before. Alt-right, I hadn't got a clue. So I really didn't know what it meant. I had no idea what alt-right is. I've never been part of the alt-right or anything like that at all. So basically, alt-right is white supremacists or white nationalists, or I think there was a few other terms. You can pretty much look it up on the Wikipedia, and they actually tells you what alt-right means. But this journalist, this Peter Walker, who is the journalist and the correspondent for the Guardian, basically called the guys who've just joined UKIP alt-right. Now, Carol Benjamin had already done a political compass test, and he had basically said that he was a left of centre. He was actually near the centre of the political compass, liberalist or a libertarian, a small L libertarian, left-wing centrist, basically, and that's where he was. He wasn't actually. In fact, he's actually done speeches critical of identity politics of the right. So it's very strange that the Guardian, and you would think that the political correspondent of the Guardian would actually do some research on what he was actually talking about, to be so blatantly and massively off the actual prognosis of the political ideology that an individual follows. Looks like just a smear. And it's quite interesting that the Guardian, what is the Guardian concerned about? Well, the Guardian concerned about these very heavy political hitters just now on social media, now going to join UKIP, and a revival potentially of UKIP to a liberalist, a more liberalist ideology, which would massively benefit both UKIP and probably politics as well, and also the individuals that are concerned. Hopefully, Jared Baton, because obviously a clever man, will give them roles within the UKIP so that they are actually doing stuff through the media. They're both very media savvy, having their own channels, and some of their commentary has been widely acknowledged as being very good and very thoughtful. It's certainly a lot more thoughtful than the left shouting misogyny and racist, and without any proper debate or structure to the actual political discourse. So it looks like Peter Walker, who is employed, I don't know who I'll be very interested, we'll try and find out who the major shareholders are of the Guardian and find out what their political motivations are. But anyway, they've basically said that these guys are alt-right. Now, alt-right were the people at Charlottesville, and none of these guys were supporting the guys at Charlottesville who were in America, who were coming together to form this alt-right. The alt-right are a very small group. They're not a large group of individuals, so they're not actually really worth worrying about just now. If there was a political problem with them, then we would actually then have to speak out with regards to them. But they're so small and insignificant that it's not really worth the time. What is worth the time is the fact that the Labour Party has now got a Marxist, for a self-confessed Marxist, and you've got to understand that the left wing have murdered tens of millions of people, including National Socialism, because socialism, National Socialism or Nazis are right-wing socialists. So it was a redefinition of the word socialism from the international socialism that Marx had espoused to a national socialism that Adolf Hitler wanted. There was a changing of socialism from the internationalism to the national socialism. Hitler was probably did nothing wrong. Well, anyway, so we've now seen that. I mean, some disgusting stuff that's happening, and it's just been brushed over. Well, feminism, third wave feminism is communism, and the Green Party are pretty much communist as well. So that's something that you have to take on board. The fact that the tree huggers, basically their underlying ideology is communism, as with third wave feminism, it's just communism. So the communists have murdered tens of millions of pounds and throughout the different countries, whether it be China or Russia. It's always been a disaster. Now they're starting, Jeremy Corbyn, who was backing the Venezuela dictatorship, what is now turning into a dictatorship. And we've just seen again in the paper, the people in the street are getting murdered by the socialists in Venezuela. So, I mean, it's really disgusting. And we've got now Diane Abbott, who on national television was, and you can check this on YouTube because the clips are there, bestowing the virtues of Mao, the largest political mass murderer of all time. I mean, it is beyond, and these guys, I mean, Diane Abbott could be the Home Secretary, McDonald could be and they're talking about runs on the pound if McDonald became Chancellor, and Jeremy Corbyn, who you wouldn't let take your dog for a walk, could actually become Prime Minister. I mean, it's beyond a joke. A terrorist sympathiser, somebody who supports other terrorist organisations, somebody that would bring in a political ideology that would turn back the UK into the sick man of Europe in the 1970s if these political policies were put in place. And it's absolutely incredible that anybody's voting for them. They are absolutely bonkers. But there is a requirement in the UK for a change in politics. And I don't think the Conservative Party are really covering it anymore. And I don't think just being able to vote between Labour, Liberals and Conservatives is really doing it. I think people have got other aspirations, but they don't know where to actually turn to because they're getting this misinformation, which is exactly what Peter Walker did with The Guardian, because The Guardian have got a sway on part of the UK. They don't have to be responsible for or what they actually say or write. They can actually put out misinformation and can actually then corrupt people's opinions of other people. So I would like to see Marcus. I've not seen Marcus do his political compass or Paul Joseph Watson. So I'd love to see the two of them and also Tommy Robinson, the three of them do their political compass to find out exactly where they are. Just to do it the same way Carol Benjamin's done it, and actually get on board and actually do some sort of political compass test so that we can actually just see where they are on the political spectrum so that we can debunk Peter and actually then be able to challenge him on what he's actually writing about ethno-states. And the left have now become the new racists. The left's intersectionality, which again is a disgusting Marxist theory, is a bit like the anti-Semitism that's creeped into the Labour Party based again on Marx's teachings. It's just absolutely disgusting. Intersectionality is just out and out racism, left-wing racism. to use a left-wing terminology. Of course, there is no such thing as racism. It's the human race, and it only benefits the left to continually go on about racism because it then puts people into their collective groups for them to be bestowed with benefits or expunged, depending on what fascist way the left want to actually run the show. So we're now looking at a bit of a disgusting smearing through the mass media. But the media is changing now. They can't get away with what they used to get away with. They can't get away with just condemning people and other people just actually accept what they're saying. So my advice to PJW and Marcus is do your political compass test, guys. I think Marcus, I think they're both small L libertarians, and I would suspect that they're probably the two of them are. Well, I would think Marcus used to be a communist, so he might be a lot near where Carol is as well. I would suspect he's a libertarian as well. A libertarian. I think he's obviously probably moved to the right now. He's grown up and matured. And I know Carol's sort of slightly left of centre. I mean, very slightly left of centre in the big box left wing libertarians. And I'm sure Paul Joseph Watson is probably a libertarian, a small L libertarian, and maybe even slightly to the right, maybe where I am in the political compass. So all these people are getting maligned, and they're getting maligned because, as I said to you in the last podcast, the establishment are scared because these guys have massive followings. So is it time to join UKIP just now? Well, I think more and more people are going to join. If they get a Cutie Pie or Tweety Pie or whatever his name is with 50 million followers, and he comes out and supports somebody, they manage to get more guys on with their YouTube channels coming out and supporting them. Forget about it. It's going to be absolutely massive. If these people are prepared to go out and start campaigning for UKIP, and UKIP are clever enough to utilise them in the best possible manner, which I'm sure Jared Baton probably is now. It seems like they've now turned the corner. I think a lot of people thought it was a bit of a joke to start off with, that they weren't actually going to do it. But now they're actually doing it. They see how much speak about the modern society. Well, but I mean, you want me to speak about the modern society? Well, I think Paul Joseph Watson covered it in architecture. I might actually do one on what's actually happened in Edinburgh, because Edinburgh is absolutely beautiful with the modernist and the postmodernist artists and architecture. I was actually contemplating going back and doing an art degree at Glasgow College of Art. Now, unfortunately, before it was burnt down again. And such a beautiful building, again destroyed, probably put up some nondescript postmodernist rubbish. And I'm going to do a wee tour around Edinburgh to actually show you all these people who work in planning and the absolute crap that they've actually put up. But it's not in relation to the actual buildings that are around it, and really has uglified both in art and postmodernist architecture, have really uglified the surrounds. So I'll talk about that in another podcast, but I would just want to speak about Dank and the guys down there. So I think that's me pretty much covered. Peter Walker. I mean, I don't understand how Peter Walker was getting a job unless it's a deliberate hatchet piece by him on them. Because if he's a political correspondent for the Guardian and doesn't know the difference between what their political stance is and the alt-right, then it's extremely worrying. But what Peter Walker should be writing about is the fact that Fat Dan Abbott is now getting a wee commie group, the Stand Up to Racism, which is just an ability to shut down. Will UKIP will become stronger all over the place, and in Scotland now. These guys have got followings all over the UK, not just down south. So yes, to answer that, it'll depend how UKIP actually manage these new people, and because it's a lot of energy and enthusiasm that will come in, which usually young people bring, and this is something that they would have to utilise to their best opinion, or the best try tutorage them and improve them as potential politicians, get them out and get them chapping doors and speaking to people. But it could be a rebranding of UKIP, and maybe even, as I said before, a name change, the Freedom Party, whatever. It could be a total change. It could be turning into more of a classical liberalist party, which will benefit because that means it will go closer to the centre and it will change the way that. Change the way that change the way that the actual uh, parties performing in the elections because it will increase the attractiveness of them. So yeah, so that's basically it. I've said enough. I've also just got us outside the castle again because we're not prepared to get pushed about, are we? My baby gorillas. So yeah, and we're all going down on the 14th. Well, I'm certainly going down on the 14th of July to the Tommy Robinson event in the march as well. I'm certainly going down to protest and speak to the guys, do as much filming as possible, try and get some live streams. It was noticeable that the live streaming was blocked last time, so we're going to try different techniques to unblock the streaming, try and get it out live as well. My only advice to the guys that are trying to do the Tommy Robinson thing, trying to organise it, is I would keep it outside number 10. I wouldn't listen to them. I would get us all outside number 10 again. The fact that the police sort of made a rammy of the last one doesn't mean that we shouldn't be debarred from actually doing it. Although I'm sort of swithering because it would be good to actually get it outside the BBC so that we can all then say about privatisation of the BBC. So I'm going to leave now. I think I've done enough. But there is, I mean, it was interesting. I'll just say one last thing about the alt-right. It was interesting that Milo had actually mentioned the alt-right in his one of his talks. But I think what Milo, because obviously nobody knew what the alt-right, what Hillary Clinton was meaning by the alt-right, because pretty much nobody's in the alt-right. But there is major problems with the communist left because the communist left could get into power in the UK through Fat Dan Abbott and Steptoe and John, I'm a Trotsky, I'm a Marxist, I'm a Marxist McDonald. I mean, that's communists getting into number 10. And I mean, you would have to be bonkers to think that would be a good thing for the UK. Absolutely mad as a hatter. That's like letting Nazis in. I mean, the communists, the people who followed Marx's ideology have murdered more people than the National Socialists in more countries. So somehow the deaths under communism has been uh, has been less severe than the National Socialists, who are also socialists, just National Socialists, is just bonkers. So the best thing is not to let socialists take over the country because everything goes to hell in a handbag. As I said, they're killing the poor people in Venezuela who are protesting against the moves towards a totalitarian system under socialism. Absolutely bonkers. So we're now actually going to go down 14th of July. So privatise again, back to the privatisation of the BBC, and this is the only thing that I actually quite like because I think the march is actually going to the march is going to the BBC headquarters. So really, it would be good to have signs about privatise or stop the licence fee for the BBC. So either stop the licence fee or privatise it outright. I've already commented in one of my other podcasts with regards to whether it would be better to privatise it or whether it would be better to just stop having to pay a licence fee. I think pretty much both are the same, but there are slight differences, slight nuances in both sort of ventures. So I think that's me. I think that's me pretty much covered all the sort of stuff for today. I mean, I just couldn't believe that Peter was actually calling the guys alt-right. So the guys are not alt-right. They're small L libertarians, which means they're in either the left, if you've seen a political compass, either the left or right spheres of the political compass, which is basically a box. And they're probably classical liberalists as well. So Yeah, yeah, probably classical liberalists as well, I would think, which is towards the centre of in between the left and right libertarianism and not alt-right. But I don't understand how these guys are all getting jobs. I mean, why would you actually, unless it's just pure propaganda, which would be understandable because this could be a major change for UKIP. I've already said to you guys before, this is a major political shift for UKIP. UKIP were actually dying on their feet, and now if they start to get new, young, youthful members, improve the policies, which I think Jerry Baton is really starting to get woke and switched on to what's going on about him, that we're potentially going to see a whole different scenario in British politics. If UKIP starts to revive to the sort of levels that it was having before, it then it's a game changer. Happened with Trump. It really sort of stuck it to all the people who aren't really very nice people. So it's we're looking forward to seeing what happens. If Jerry can get it going and keeping it together and improve and with the guys and get the guys on the TV, I think it'd be great to see Paul Joseph Watson or Count Dankula or Carol Benjamin on the television on Question Time. And certainly there would be, I think the guys would be making mincemeat of some of the politicians that are on there just now. So, yeah, we're now talking about a really interesting period, and it's going to be good fun. So politics is now going to become fun again, which I think we're all looking forward to. So that's me, guys. I'm just going to leave it. I just thought we'd do quite a short one today. But we have to understand that the media is propagandised. That is why we should. I don't want to pay a licence fee for a propagandised television channel. If they want to do that, they have to earn their own money. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to have to see the privatisation or the removal of the licence fee. Now, it doesn't mean that the BBC don't do a good job. I think the BBC do an excellent job. It's just going to be the changes to the actual way that the BBC is financed. And there might be changes in programming as well. It might not, mind you, but I think a lot of the BBC stuff, they do it really well. They're a really quality company. And it's really just about how we're doing the financing of that. So it's going to be interesting as well. So if I would like to have it outside number 10 again. If not, we then march outside the BBC. I think UKIP should be getting signs saying stop the licence fee or privatise the BBC, either or. Whatever the policy is, I think privatisation would be best, because then we could pay off some of the debt and probably end austerity for the poorest in our society. So that's me, guys. That's it. I just thought I would get a wee update. 14th of July, wherever it is, whether it's outside number 10 or whether it's outside the BBC, I'll be there. Hopefully you'll be there too. Free Tommy Robinson.